Hey everyone, welcome to this sort of tutorial where I show you how I make my frog earrings. Enjoy! Okay, so step one is to cut your froggies. I like to double up the felt and then pin the pattern on, so I get two pieces in one cut. And if the shapes are a little uneven, you can neaten them up by cutting around the edges. Step 2 is time to paint. This is my favorite part. Using acrylic paint, I start making their frog faces, and you can design it however way you wish. One tip I have about painting on felt is layering. Because a felt is so absorbent, I found it helpful to paint on one thin layer at a time, let it dry for a bit, and then paint on the second layer. The colors look more saturated this way, in my opinion. This isn't super technical also, but I like to use the end of a paintbrush to dot on any details like the eye pupils here. Then I go back with a tiny brush to fill in the features a bit more. Next, you can keep adding more character. I used a wooden skewer, but you can use a paintbrush or a toothpick to add nostrils and freckles, or maybe you want to paint on cheeks like blush. Anyway, before we move on to the next sewing step, please make sure the paint is completely dry. Otherwise, you'll end up with paint smudges as you try to sew everything together and you'll be heartbroken. So go make a cup of coffee or a tea and watch a movie, and I'll be right here when you come back. Okay, we're back. Did you let everything dry? I sure hope so. If you did, great, let's move on. I am prepping my embroidery thread here to sew on the rings. The embroidery thread traditionally comes with 6 strands, but I typically only like to use 2, so you can separate the strands if you wish. When I'm sewing on the rings, I make sure to put the knot on the quote ugly side, or the side that won't show, like the inside of the earring. I know it's self-explanatory, but sometimes I forget. I sew in an X or crisscross shape at the back of the earring, like this. I think it looks more deliberate and kind of cute, and it feels more secure this way. And then I sew in a crisscross 2 or 3 more times before securing the knot. Step 4 is a little bit more sewing and stuffing. We're almost there. I use a blanket stitch to join the front and back of the earrings. For a blanket stitch, I found it helpful to always move from a left to right side direction and to keep an even spacing between each stitch. This takes a little bit of practice, but I believe in you. If you'd like to see a detailed explanation or a how-to on the blanket stitch, I'll link a super helpful video by Griffith below. I basically learned all my felt sewing tips from just this one video, so I highly recommend it if you're into hand sewing felt projects like I am. Once I'm about halfway around with a stitch, I begin stuffing the earring using the filling. It helps to use a pencil or some kind of stick to pack in the stuffing to get a nice 3D look to your project. Continue to stitch all the way around until you have all your pieces sewn together. Step 5 is assembly time. In order to turn these into actual earrings, it's time to attach the hooks. I use these mini pliers to twist open the hooks and connect them to the rings that we sewed on earlier. And here's an optional step, which is to make backing cards for your earrings. I've sold these frog earrings in my shop before at Sew What Studio. I've made these simple backing cards using these adorable stamps I got on eBay a little while ago, but you can also make cards like this too, especially if you want to add a nice touch for gifts and whatnot. And that's it. I hope you liked this video and found it helpful. Let me know how it went if you gave it a go. I have more videos talking about my creations and my crafting on my channel, so be sure to check them out and subscribe. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye!